gone in. Heads go up, and the Fabians are up by 1-0. Benjamin Afutu.
Shot from a distance, and that's goal number 2. That is goal number 2, and you could see it coming.
But not defense enough, not straight out of shot Benjamin Olympic. Afutu Ghana! That's the second goal! Afutu. Afutu looking for his captain, but top just, only just.
Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel Tackie, for joining us. It's such a privilege to have you to do the discussion and obviously try and give the fans a bit of perspective to all that's happening between your player, Benjamin Afutu and Accra Hearts. How are you doing, Mr. Tackie?
Thank God, everything is fine.
Good. Mr. Tackie, I want to start with your assessment of the kind of season, Afutu had in the just ended one. I know everybody's spoken about Accra Hearts winning the Ghana Premier League and, of course, the MTN FA Cup. But how did you see the performance of your boy?
As everybody can clearly see, the performance was well planned, and I was not surprised. What came out from him. We believe it is something that's really invested into it, and this is the kind of performance that we are seeing. And I believe it worked to perfection as we put the plans together. So we just give thanks to God. It's a project that we executed, and it has come, to a successful end.
All right. Before the end of the season, were there any few issues that you would have wanted to resolve? Because if your player's contract was coming to an end, normally you want to start some talks and see if you can quickly renew before the contract goes to an end. Was there any kind of discussion like that from any of the sides? Yeah.
If they are not interested, they should let us know so that quickly we can start preparing the grounds for the future. It took them some time. If my memory serves me right, almost about 2 months before coming back to tell us that yes, they are interested if they want to renew the contracts. So the negotiation commenced, and we took it from there.
So did that delay give you a little bit of an idea that the club were perhaps not willing to quickly sign your boy?
I can't say that, and I don't know why they delayed in responding to our call. Well, maybe it was not time for them to have their board meeting to discuss all those things. So we were not moved. We were not moved. We were just waiting for them to come and see the way forward.
Looking at where we are at the moment, would you say that delay has complicated things? Was that delay part of the reason why things have been complicated now? Because normally you look at how clubs do it elsewhere, the roll-on is very quickly, it's very easy and smooth. When you realize that the player's contract is running out, you quickly do it. Would you say that delay has complicated things?
I believe there were reasons why they delayed. The club can explain it better, but it keeps worrying us until they came, and we read a lot of meanings into it. But what can we do? They finally came back, and we started negotiation.
Well, it's an interesting one. It's an interesting one here with the way that went. When the season was ongoing, were there a few things you were not happy about with respect to playing time and other things? Were there a few issues that you were not happy about?
Well, in fact, when the season commenced, I don't remember, but I think it's in May or December. But when the season, commenced, he was not getting, enough playing time. It was.
I'll be sure. I think under Papic and Co. Yes, I think under the two coaches, under Ninoy and under Papic, he wasn't really playing.
I think it started from Ninoy. He was not getting much playing time, and the discussion was ongoing. And You know, we were clearly told, you know, that because he has not renewed his contract, hence, you know, the club not knowing his plans, so they don't have the confidence to field him. So, in fact, I even got annoyed. That's what do you mean? You have a contract with a player, having 1 year left on his contract, and you are saying because he has not renewed his contract and negotiation is ongoing, so you are not fielding the player because you don't know the plans of the player. If you are a serious club, why don't you use the player if the player even refuses to renew his contract? You want to achieve, you know, glory. You want to achieve laurels. So if the player can help you do that, and you are saying because he has not renewed, are you going to allow the 1 year left on his contract to be foolish? Then it's up to you. So, you know, from there it's like we ourselves, we started to plan and think ahead. You know, because if, you know, a coach will be saying this or telling you this, a management or let me say board member will also be telling you this, at times it's a problem. So after Ninoy left, then I think Papic came, and you know the same trend continued. Yeah. You know, there were instances that the coach, you know, approached the player that why are you not renewing, you know, hence me not fielding you and, you know, not playing regularly. So it's like it was a bad, you know, step that the club took, you know, at that time. But well, let's give thanks to God. Let's give thanks to God where we are now.
And you know, you just told me that you had taken some steps. You guys had to start thinking about what you needed to do with it. Did that include having a pre-contract with a club? Because one of the allegations of all of this is that you entered a pre-agreement with a club, and if you step out of that agreement, you have too much money to pay, and that you can't pay. It's a made-up story. In my mind, I'm just wondering if you had a pre-agreement with the club and it's dollars, why are you still here though? But you have to explain to me. I'm here to understand that, because you're thinking further when all these things were happening. Did you go that far?
In fact, I remember in December, if I was even not feeling well, when I had a call, you know, in fact, my player called me that somebody called him. So he gave my number to the person. The person is calling from, I don't remember the country though, but so the person called. And the question is, well, yes, what is your mission? And he said, oh, they are interested in Afutu, and you know, they want to get him a contract, blah blah blah. And I said, okay, fine. I mean, he's contracted to a club, so talk to the club. I think it's in December 25th or something. I said, talk to the club. If the club agrees to release him, because they wanted him in January. If the club agrees to release him, so be it. But I can't do anything about it. I can't. You know, I can't force the player out. Even though it was left with, you know, I think in January it was left with our 6 months, you know, and no per.
Yeah. So normally under 6 months you can go with a pre-contract.
Yeah. So in fact they wanted to take advantage, so they contacted the club and they gave an offer to the club, and the club, you know, refused. And he told me, and I said, fine, I can't do anything about it. So we were talking. In fact, they were discussing with us, blah blah blah, you know. And we were also happy, and you know, we helped, you know, in the discussion. But it got to a point that we realized that, you know, things are not going to help us. So what do? We have to move forward from there.
So it is clear that you didn't have a contract with any other club, no pre-contract with any other club officially.
Oh well, I want them to prove if indeed there is any pre-contract. Contract is between two parties. And I don't think, you know, there were agreements between the parties, so I don't think there is any pre-contract signed between us. If you ask me to produce, I can't produce. If you ask them to produce, they should produce, and prove that yes, we indeed signed something with them and we have a copy. There's nothing like that.
Good. Mr. Tackie, let's talk about now the negotiation process. So when the negotiations began, what were your requests to Accra Hearts of Oak, and was it difficult for them to answer that?
I believe the club started, you know, on a wrong route. In every contract, you know, when you are interested in the money, and you started, you know, with the money issue, it will not get anywhere, because it is not the money that you know will make the contract a contract. As for money issue, there within 2-3 minutes, you know, people can agree on something. Once you have the correct valuation of, you know, what you are going to do or the player that you want. So they started from the money. I even objected, and rejected it. That I'm not interested in that. We should start from contract negotiation. Moreover, the existing contract, there are certain things that you are supposed to do, and you have not done it. And you have even changed your policy as a club. You have been paying signing on fee, and you are not paying signing on fee again. And you sit down for a player to come to the negotiating table before you tell the player we are no more paying signing on fee. What do you want the player to do if he's a reasonable person? So I told them, and it's like, oh, okay, we are now going to tell the press. I said it's wrong. So go back and do the right thing so that we can continue the negotiation. So it's like, so how much do you want to take as a signing on fee, as a salary? And the way the discussions were going, we told them our mind. So we requested for a draft contract after telling them our mind. The draft came, and totally what we mentioned is not what is in the contract. So I started to raise alarm. That's yes, you have asked me something. We have raised, we have told you our mind. In the draft, we are expecting that those things will be in the draft. Then we can, agree and decide and speak to those things. But what you have given me is totally different. Moreover, do what is in the existing contract, complete it, so that the process can continue. So it started from there until I think the then chief executive left. I think Mr. Moore, and Akambi came over, that he has been appointed by the board to come and continue the negotiation, and he took over, and things didn't go the way we wanted. So it's like negotiation at a point break. And because we were not happy. The way comments were going, things were going, we were not happy at all. So we told him our peace of mind. Yes.
Okay. So you are saying that it was not even about money. It wasn't about how much you're requesting, but it was about conditions, player conditions, or conditions of service. Is that more or less of that?
In fact, when the drafts came, and we raised the alarm, they said, okay, we should bring our proposal, what we want. So we put our proposals together. When we submitted, it is within the same week that Mr. Moore left. So Akambi came to meet the proposal, and he also came out with what the board wants to give us. Without I don't know if they don't know a draft has been given to us, but it's like they were only interested in the money. This is what the board want to give you, and it's like, okay, we are not ready for this. This is what we want. So it's like, why do you want this? This is what the board said they are going to give, and they cannot give more. You see that you take it or you leave it. And in negotiation, we don't do that. So it's like, I requested what went into the board's valuation in coming out with this figure. If they are able to convince me that this is the valuation process, this is how we arrived, at this figure, and we are well convinced, we can agree. But if the board cannot tell us that this is the valuation that we are in fact went into it before we arrived, but it's just that take this money and keep quiet and let's go forward, we cannot do that. So along the line, between us and the board rep, that is Mr. Elijah Akambi, negotiation also stopped along the way for a very long time, because he was not ready to carry our message to the board, and we are also not ready to listen to what the board is saying, because they were not being fair to us at that time. The money they were offering to our player was woefully inadequate, and it's not going to help us. So we didn't continue again until Mr. Honorable Sowa Odote came in. And when he came in fact, he said the board has evaluated our requests in terms of the money, and they want to do something. So along the way, we agreed on the money. Yes, what we are requesting for, yes, even though it's dropped a little bit, we agreed on the money. But there were certain things in the contract that we want them to clarify, polished, and come out clear, because we realize that it is not going to help our player. And going forward, if we are not careful, if something happens, our player will be found wanting.
I see. Is it the case that Mr. Daniel Tackie is playing hardball with Accra Hearts, or is it the case that Accra Hearts don't want to do what they are supposed to do?
You know, there's a saying that goes, you know, the young shall grow. And it is not in line with only Accra Folk, but all the clubs. My advice is we should not think the players are not wise. Even if you are managing a player or taking care of a player who has never been to school before or cannot read and write, you have to think twice when you are dealing with such people. And you know, luckily for me, Afutu is educated. He can read and write. And you know, if you think take this and be quiet, or this is our position, you either take it or leave it. In negotiation, it doesn't help. And if you have given me a draft, and out of the draft that you have given me, I have seen a lot of challenges in the draft, and I've raised those challenges, and you are not ready to rectify those things, but you are only probably interested in we waiting. If something happens, we can go to GFA or player status to battle it out. We were not ready for that. Every contract must be measurable. Every contract must be able to solve its own problem. That is what we believe. Contracts can only go to the courts if maybe clauses in the contract, both parties deliberately want to breach it. But every contract should be able to solve its own problem. And that is what we are believing. And the club is not ready to listen to us. What were we requesting for? We were not requesting for a car, for a house, for this. No. We are not requesting for too much. And I don't think what we requested for, any reasonable player being managed by a competent person, you know, will say that, oh, okay, it's good, let's go. No. My work is to manage contracts. So I know what contract is. And if I have to raise issues and you are not ready to, you know, to listen to us, you know, at times it's very difficult and challenging. So it got to a point that when Papic left and the player started getting playing time, it's like the confidence started coming back, and it's like the process is getting very difficult. So I told the club that they should allow the season to come to an end, because there are certain things that I have to talk to the player, and I don't want to disrupt, you know, his attention, because even the player is more focused. And you know, what annoys the player is you are negotiating with his manager, yet you go behind the manager, be talking to the player. Even coaches were talking to the player to change the player's mind, even trying to tell the player that this manager is not going to help you, forget about him and let's move forward. You know, why do you have to do that? So it's like all these things annoyed the player. Nobody knows until today. I'm telling you, going behind me to as if I sat in my.
A lot about the manager liking too much money.
No, what money? I have never requested for anything. In that, the money per the salary that they said they are going to give or they can give the player, and we agreed upon it. Manager did not ask for 1 Ghana. I didn't ask for pure water. Even in all our meetings, nobody gave me a bottle of water. There was no addition. In fact, there was no addition. I didn't ask anything. In addition to what? Why am I asking those things? The player is your player. You want to renew his contract. It's not a new player that is coming that I'm forcing to take him from another club and give it to you. Sorry, and give him to you. But willingly, me myself, you know, I have some love for the club. People who knows me very well. So why should I ask? I was not in a position of asking anything. I didn't ask anything till now. The player can confirm if what I'm saying is true or not.
Right. So at the moment, have you given him to a club?
Have I what?
Have you handed him over to a club?
Officially, I have not handed him over to a club. Yes. In fact, a player without a contract and is a good player. Potential clubs or agents, you know, would like to approach just to know if the player is free or ready to play for a particular club. So these are the things that in fact that is currently going on, but we are yet to officially give our consent to any club to register him. The player would not do that without my approval.
Okay, so officially he hasn't signed with any club, but unofficially he is more or less sporting and doing some things, because we saw pictures of him at the airport. I don't know which airport, but we saw a picture of him that looked like an airport, and that he's in Egypt. I don't know how far and how true those reports are.
I like the way you said you saw him, at a place that looks like an airport. Yes, I mean, yes, everybody saw the player standing somewhere, whether it's the airport or not. It was at a certain place, and it was going to travel by then. Yes, that is the airport, and he was going to travel.
Okay, so the reports that he's in Egypt having medicals are correct.
Currently, I can confidently tell you that yes, the player is not in the country. I can decide to take him anywhere for his medicals or whatever, but I prefer that he goes to Egypt because of the opportunities that are in line.
Wow.
So yeah.
Wow. But isn't this a bait to get the club as supposed to act, or it is the process of your management team looking at resolving this so that your player can have the peace of mind to play?
We gave our consent to the club to add his name to the African lists. This clearly shows you that or tells you that we want the player to play in Africa, especially. Along the line, when we were negotiating, it's got to a point that it was clear to all the parties that the relationship cannot continue again. On the 13th of August, it was a Friday, around 9:30 or something, when the call came that what you people are requesting for, which is not money, which is not something that we have imported, that they cannot continue again with the relationship. At that time, the player was in the national camp, and a day before, he was talked to by a board member, and I was informed that in fact the player informed me, so I advised that then the following morning he should leave camp. But the traffic from that Pram to Accra in the morning is very difficult and tedious. If he decides to leave in the morning, then you'll not be able to train with the club, with the national team. So I told him that wait, finish with your training around 8 or 9. By that time the traffic has come down. Those who knows this Dowenya Pram road, they can attest to what I'm saying. So the player relaxed, and fortunately, the team was break camp on that same morning after training. So he left camp and he was on his way coming when I had a call that the relationship cannot be continued based on what we are even requesting for. And what are we requesting for? We are not requesting for anything that I believe the club cannot do. It's not money. So I said, okay, if that is the case, I understand. Because a day before, he was asked to come and sign a form, the African form. So he was coming to Accra based on that. And later on, he was called in the morning that he should come and sign the contract, because he said, he was not told to come and sign a contract. He was asked to come and sign the African form. Moreover, negotiation has not completed. It's still ongoing. Why are you telling him that he should come and sign the contract? Moreover, you have not even told the manager who is even negotiating with you. He's not even aware. So what is happening? So the player quickly called me and he was asking me that, did we agree that he should come and sign? I said, nobody has even called me. If you didn't tell me that they said you should come and I advise, I'm not even aware. I'm not even aware that they said you should come and sign a contract. I'm not aware. So the player said he's not coming to sign a contract. It's the African form that is coming to sign. Hence, in fact, him leaving the camp in the morning. So when the news came, it's like, well, we cannot continue again. So we have to find our way out and look for a club for our player. That's what happened. Until the player came to Accra, and it was not easy emotionally. I have to take some time. I have to send even people to the house to talk to him to understand the situation. That is what I'm doing. That shows the love that the players still have for the club and his willingness to be playing for that himself for the club. If at that time we're having some club or clubs in mind, I am telling you, like this will not be a problem. Or we'll not even waste our time to sit and negotiate up to even 11 p.m. Why? Before driving or taking car home. We will not even waste our time, waste the time of the board, no, we wouldn't do that. But we have to, in fact, we love the club and we want to continue playing for the club. So we have to stop. And as good managers as we are, if we cannot continue again, quickly we have to what? We have to close the gap. We have to be looking for clubs, to let the player sign for. So people showed interest. We gave people, the mandates to be looking for clubs for my clients, and that is what I have to do. So on that Friday when the news came, even before that, people were pushing us with offers. But I told them, please, we are going to play in Africa. If I have to play in Africa for another Champions League club, why don't I, stay in Ghana to play for Hearts, who is also going to play in Africa? So we have to give a mandate to, some agency to be looking for clubs for us on that Friday.
So as it stands today, 29th of September, do Accra Hearts have a chance of still getting the player?
As at now that we are talking this morning, the player has not signed for any club. The player is still free.
Still available.
The player is still available. I have given the club. In fact, I told them that today I'll finally confirm whether the player will be available or not. I told the club personally. In fact, I talked to Honorable, so he knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, but my worry is after the club said they cannot continue again, they came back that they like the player. The same day in the evening, you see. Then we met again, and I told them the steps that we have taken, and I'm expecting the club from the 13th or the 14th to be telling the public what we told them or what we have agreed upon. Because I told them that they should give me some time to take some actions, certain things that we have done, so that the way will be clear for us to sign the contracts. Without that, it will be very difficult.
Okay, but Mr. Tackie, just before we end, how is your player feeling with all of this on his head? He just won trophies with the club. He would naturally love to play with them and continue. He has a fantastic partnership in midfield, all of them, and then yet he still has to secure his future and all of that. How is your player feeling?
Life must go on. My player is very strong, mentally. He's very strong mentally, and as of now that we are talking, he has forgotten about the past. In fact, if you are talking to him now, he looks more refreshed. He looks more focused going forward. Whether to
You're a hard agent. You're a hard agent, bro. You're a hard agent.
In fact, I have to do my work professionally for the player to be happy, and that is what I've been doing to all my players. You see,
I have to let you manage me the way you are going about the management. You're a hard guy.
We have to do things professionally. You see, we are professional people, and why do you think we should do things haphazardly for people to feel sorry that they are part of us? I have to be very proud. I'm telling you where we have gotten to. Per my probably, let me say, my education and my level, I should be doing things that will make my people very, very, very happy. And I can tell you that Benjamin Afutu is a happy player now, and he's looking ahead to continue his football career, whether with Accra Hearts of Oak or any other club.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Just the final word. What do you have to say to the fans?
Oh, what I can say is we really appreciate the support. We really appreciate the prayers. We really appreciate all efforts that they put in supporting the player or the brand Afutu. Without the supporters, we don't know what would have happened. They also pushed, when the performance was going up. I remember when he joined the club from Karila, the way supporters were talking, at the stadium where I've been sitting, They didn't know I am the manager of Afutu. And you know, we all talk, you know, because we are watching ball. Oh, this player, this, they will be saying a lot of things. But I have a friend, you know, Derek, who we go to the same church. He knew me very well. He knows I'm the manager, but he will never disclose it to them. And he will be fighting.
Yeah.
He will be fighting for me. He will be fighting for the player until it get to a point that he told them that the manager of Afutu is this man. Before they said, oh, and you didn't tell us. I said, no, I need not to tell you to be saying things good. All what you have been doing, you know, I have been taking them in good faith. I have been psyching my player up, and I know one day, because I know the stuff that the guy is made of. So when he picked up, it's not unfortunate this NC and this Anas expose, you know, spoiled everything. Like Afutu will play constantly for 4 years. In fact, at the performance that we all saw. But it's not unfortunate, you know, things delayed. But you know, at the end of the day, he proved his worth. In fact, the value or the money that the club gave him, I believe he has paid back. He has paid the club back. And supporters, yes, we love, but my word of advice is we are just supporters. Yes, some of us, we have been investing our monies in the game, not only going to the stadium, but you know, through other ways. If I tell you the kind of support that supporters have been giving to players, you will marvel. The thing that they have been giving to players, you marvel. They have been doing a lot of things because of my player. So I've realized and I've witnessed a lot of things. But when it comes to time that players have to take their decision and their destiny in their own hands, they should not say that is the club that made you who you are. Nobody can make Accra Suffolk. Accra Suffolk is a big club, and nobody is bigger than Accra Suffolk. But supporters, we should be very careful. Nobody can tell me this season that the players who won the league after 10 years for the club have not brought glory to the club. That you'll be standing somewhere saying that if it is not the club, you didn't make the club. You didn't make the club. But it's the club that's. What are you talking about? Let's give you know, credit to the players. Let's tell them that yes, what you have done, because they have done something good, especially this season. So we should stop saying that hey, the club is big and we cannot, and the club you cannot make the club. Hey, Charlie, we've grown past that stage. Oh, we've grown past that stage. Those times that, you know, people go and hide and, you know, kidnap players just to come and sign. Those days are gone. Those days are over. Those days are over. You see, because now football is business.
Mr. Tackie, just another question that just came to mind on us. I mean, why is it that he has not been to training and all of that whilst he was in Accra? Given that his name was part of the Champions League squad and the club is still resolving this. We know players whose contracts have been resolved, but they still join the club to train and everything. Why didn't your boy go and train with the club or, you know, go around them?
I think after the league season, they were on break, and the players were called back to camp to come and start the African campaign. In fact, nobody called my player. Nobody invited him. Nobody picked a phone to say that, oh, even though we've not finished with negotiation, based on what we know now or we have agreed, you come and train so that when everything is resolved. Because as at the time that we told them the challenges, we have finished all negotiation. And if today we want to extend the contract, it's not now that we are going to sit down to now agree and disagree on something again. Maybe one or two things we will talk about it and laugh and drink, you know, over it and move. But not to negotiate something new or things new again. No. But nobody pick a phone to call the player. Even when they went to, you know, the board chairman's house for the dinner or whatever, nobody even talked to him that, oh, Charlie, tomorrow come to camp, come and start training, and nobody. So he was left to his fate. He was left out. So what can we do? We can't do anything. We cannot force ourselves on them. We cannot call them that, oh, coach, are you not inviting me? Oh, manager, are you not inviting me? We cannot do that. We were expecting that at least the club will show concern, will show some love. Let me say that. That's no, come and join your colleagues, even though we have not finished everything. So the player will also feel some, you know, sense of belonging. After all, they are living in the same house. The players, they are living in the same house. About 6 or 7 players.
Yeah.
He is there with them. They leave and go, and they come back. Nobody calls him.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your time on this one. I think you have explained all the issues that you have. We're yet to find out where your player eventually ends up, but I'm sure the Hasbro fans will be hoping that if it can be resolved, it can be resolved. This has really been going on for a while, and I'm sure you're looking forward to closing this chapter as soon as possible. Thank you very much once again for your time, Mr. Tackie.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. George.